Well, good morning, TikTok, and happy Friday to you. Ed over here at FICM Repair. So we have this question here. We say, hey, look, I've got uh, I got an 0360. I put some injectors in. I put a new FICM in it, injector wiring, and I'm having an issue where it's dying while I'm driving down the road. It starts to get shaky at 70 miles an hour or so. At full operating temperature, ICP desired is 300 psi less than ICP actual. Well, yeah, and you don't even need to be so fancy as Peter over here and say that, oh, ICP actual is this versus desired. A lot of gauges don't do that. So, Peter, you get the fancy stuff, man. We're all jealous of you. what All you need to do is take a look at your IPR duty cycle, and probably what you're going to notice is when it's shaking and carrying on, that IPR duty cycle is pushing 85%. It's saying, man, I'm giving it all I can, Scotty over here, and it's just not enough. Your issue could be a bad IPR valve. It could be less likely to be an ICP sensor itself, but that's a possibility as well. It could be in an 384,000 miles. I'll tell you that your HPOP owes you no favors. And then it could be something under the valve covers. It could be a standpipe that's failing on you, or it could be those little braided lines that are off of the oil rail. In all likelihood, it's the HPOP. But the way to find out is to first go ahead and do the simple stuff. Don't buy anything out of the gate. I mean, we sell everything, and if you want to start over, yeah, sure, don't go through the effort of diagging it, and let's just buy a new everything. But who's got the money for that? So rather than just swing out and buy a new IPR valve, ICP sensor, pigtails for each, HPOPs, when you're into the HPOP pulley buckets, the intake's got to come off, so intake manifolds and oil cooler and rebuild the turbo while you're in there. Where does this end? Rather than do all that, why don't we start by seeing, hey, is our IPR valve good? And so what you're going to do is key on engine off. That should be between 14 and 15, commonly 14.84. Is the ICP sensor good? So key on engine off, that's commonly 0.2 to 0.25 volts, very commonly, very, very, very commonly 0.24 volts. And then, so now we've established that those things are good. Now, if they're not good, yeah, holler at us. Hit up FICMRepair.com, and we can sell you new versions of that. And by the way, what you want is Motorcraft. But if that tests out good, and I anticipate that it will, then your next step down the diagnosis front would be to go ahead and pick up this little air test tool from IPR Research. So you pick up this IPR tool. I say it's from IPR Research. That's actually not accurate. It's actually from a different one of our vendors. I just saw IPR and got excited. Sorry about that. But at any rate, it's available for sale on FICMRepair.com. So just do a search on the air test tool in the search box at the top center. You'll find it. And you can either buy this tool or rent this tool. And you can put, shop air up in there. It's like 150 psi, 140 psi shop air. You're not going to hurt anything. Or if you've got a nitrogen tank, even better, 4,000 psi. There's nothing in this system that's designed to handle less than 4,200 psi. So you're not going to hurt nothing. And just listen for leaks. And if you have none, then you know that the problem it really is the pump. But if you hear some leaking, then it's a matter of figuring out where that leak is coming from and just using the ears that God gave you and figure it out and say, okay, yeah, it's coming from a standpipe, or yeah, it's coming from a injector cup nipple O-ring, or whatever it is. And then you can decide, are you going to change out just that singular standpipe, that singular injector cup nipple O-ring, or are you just going to change it all out? That said, you've got 184,000 miles on this truck. Now, if you're eating ramen noodles, that's a whole different thing, right? No hate against ramen. I mean, I love me some ramen noodles. But the what I would tell you is, if you're wondering where the next meal is going to come from, that's a different world than, man, this truck, I've got the money for it. I just want to one and done it and start over. So if you want to one and done it and start over, you can pick up an adrenaline pump off of our site, off of FICMRepair.com, or you can go. There's a few aftermarket options that are also decent that are up on the site as well. And then you can take a look at your turbo feed line and say, hey, is that solid? If it is, great. If it's braided, let's hook you up with the feed line and the corresponding drain tube. You can go ahead and do the L-pop switch while you're up in there, because that'll be exposed. If you want to belt and suspenders it, you can take the up pipes and Y pipes off. We have a header wrap kit, and you can wrap those puppies. So I don't have to buy you a freaking wiring harness, because you'll just save the temperatures, and wouldn't that be a good thing? And you can pop under the valve covers, and if you want to say choice words that won't make your mom proud, you can you can go ahead and do it from the top, or you can jack up the truck, pull the tires off, pull the interference rails liners out, and get access to the bottom bolts of the valve cover from the side. Then you got to ask yourself, rabbit hole city, do you want to do the glow plugs and harnesses while you're up in there, and there's easy access or not? It's fine either way. But then you can change out after the valve covers come off. You can change out those little braided oil rail lines. Just do a search on oil rail. You'll find them on both sides with the little disconnect tool that you're going to need, along with the standpipes, along with HHC's master kit. And that way, you're just starting over with new valve cover gaskets. Grab yourself an M6 by 1.0 tap, and change the threads on the rocker box. It's just aluminum. What does it owe you? Nothing. And then as you're thinking about life and your truck's all tore apart and the intake manifold's off, the turbo's off, you can decide, hey, do I want to rebuild my turbo? Do I want to replace my turbo? We got turbo rebuild kits. We got new unison rings. We got all kinds of stuff. So, it's a question of how far down this rabbit hole do you want to go, but the intake's off and you got an 03. Do you want to find a fella with a late model intake, an 05 intake without that back cross support? Because you shouldn't have had to take the intake off. It's just the 03 design. You can go ahead and switch to an 05 design, or you can upgrade to an O-Dogs intake if you wanted to. And you can pop in an oil cooler while you're up in there. And for that matter, before you take this thing apart, you can back flush the whole system and then do an oil cooler. And it's a couple of EC9 bottles, and off to the races you go. There's a maintenance tip on the Fick and Repair called Lose the Ford Gold Coolant, and you can go ahead and follow that direction guide, and off to the races you go. And if you want to belts and suspenders and not just do an oil cooler, you can put in IPR Research's full flow coolant filter while you're up in there too. And that way you've done absolutely everything you can do while you're up in there. And the older I get, the more my time becomes valuable to me. So that's what you can all do while you're up in there. But recognize how much money I just spent 2 years with that idea. So if you wanted to start with just an air test tool and try that out, man, that's fine. No worries. Or if you want to start with just the replacement H-pop and see if that solves your problem, that's a whole lot less money, and the little Midwest kid in me is very happy with that. So whatever path you want to go, we got you. So the goal is not to sell you stuff, it's to tell you stuff. That's the whole laundry list of crap that you can do while you're up in there. It's one of those things. It's just a question of which one is it. And so now you know how to diagnose it. And if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to just rip it apart and start changing stuff, you can do that. If reliability is the name of the game, at $1.84, man, if you've got the nickels for it, I would just change out the H-pop, skip the diag, and see if it solves the problem after diagging the IPR valve and the ICP sensor as discussed at the beginning of this video. Because there's a chance worth talking about that's going to solve your problem. And then, some other day you can go ahead and pop under the valve covers and do it there. But the H-pop, it'll leave you on the side of the road. Standpipes and oil rails, that's a less common thing to leave you on the side of the road, but it does happen. So I hope this helps you, truly. And if you guys got comments on this to help our buddy out here, then by all means, put them in the comments and let's help each other out. But whatever parts you need, we sell all of them, everything from everyone. Early builds, late builds, whatever you need, even your buddies Cummins or your other buddies Duramax, these guys that made these choices to go this way. So we'll harass them for those choices just a little bit, but we'll still take care of them. Anyway, hey, we are Ed. We are FICMRepair.com. I am Ed. It's early. I haven't had my coffee in yet. Sorry about that. But we're all in this together. That's what we are. And so if we can't help each other out, what good are we? Whatever you do for a living, I am sure you're better at it than I am. This is what I do for a living. Let's help each other. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. Thanks, guys.